Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. You're tuned into the NFL on EA Sports. In today's matchup, we've got a pair of wide receivers who certainly want to be targeted throughout the game. It's Benjamin's Panthers going up against Watkins's Bills. With that, it's time to hook up with our commentators in the booth as we turn it over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Larry, we're just about 4 miles off the shores of Lake Erie at New Era Field in Orchard Park. The folks in Buffalo love their Bills, and a moment ago they entered to the delight of this sold-out crowd. They're set for football as their Bills will do battle with Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers. Welcome again, everybody, with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Godden, and yes, the rain is falling now, and it is supposed to continue to fall throughout this game. So how do you think that will impact this contest?
Well, first and foremost, both quarterbacks are going to make sure the officials have those dry footballs coming in each and every play and standing over them sometimes with a towel before the center gets up there to snap it. Second thing is the focus of all the guys who handle the football. Do they wear gloves? Do they take them off? Will they carry the ball high and tight to make sure they have good ball security? That's paramount in a game like this.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. Some might have returned that one. He won't. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start the drive from the 25. So here are the Panthers now for their opening drive. They're led out by their big-bodied electric quarterback, Cam Newton.
Cam has all the skills that you're looking for. The arm that can do everything, the ability to run, hard to bring down because of his size. But the joy that he plays the game, I think that's his stock in trade. That's his calling card. That's what sets him apart from other players.
On first down, it's Newton. On the catch, this is Russell Shepard. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 17 yards on the game's opening play and a quick first down. So here we go, 1st and 10 now. They'll run. This is Jonathan Stewart. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. Kelvin Benjamin has to be a feature of this offense that's on your screen now.
Definitely a #1 receiver, a huge target with some speed. It's almost like go-go gadget when he goes up to get the football. No matter how you defend him, he can go just a little bit higher.
On 2nd down, they run with Stewart. And he'll get this up past the 45 to the 47. It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves him with 3rd and 5. Quickly now, a look at the Buffalo defense.
An immediate starter as a rookie in 2015 coming out of Florida State. Ronald Darby is a guy you got to keep a good eye on. Now the #1 corner in Buffalo because of Stephon Gilmore moving over to New England. The only deficiency that he's wanting to correct, 0 interceptions in 2016.
Now Newton. Cam fighting. He lost the football. It's out. Now this is picked up by the Bills. And he will score. Touchdown, Buffalo. So the defense forces the fumble. They get the score. And a guy on defense becoming offensive there, Charles.
And you know they love that. Any guy on defense loves to pick up the ball and have it in his hands and try and score himself. In this case, that's exactly what happened.
We'll be singing in the shower post-game. Stephen Hauschka for the point after. Footing likely going to be an issue all night here on a rainy night, but this one is good. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way, the fumble return for a touchdown. So here's the kickoff now as he'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And a couple yards deep, he'll go to a knee. He won't return it. And they'll take it out to the 25. Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. They start on the ground. This is Stewart on first. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well. But when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him. And some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
Draw play. Newton to Stewart. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
Now Stewart on first down. And some nifty running there. Ultimately, it doesn't get him a whole lot, but it does take him to the 45. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2. If these kinds of lanes are available, you have to feel like he's going to have a pretty big game on the ground.
Yeah, you can tell early on he's got a little burst in his step, and that's a big pickup right there on first down.
Newton gives off to Stewart. And no room that time, getting it to about the 46. Only a yard on the pickup, so a good situation on 2nd and 2. It's now 3rd and 1.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. Now, Cam fighting. He lost the football. It's out. Now this is picked up by the Bills. 20, 10, and he'll get in. Touchdown, Buffalo. So that is now 2 fumble return touchdowns. And you talk about something that's going to drive a head coach crazy.
Without a doubt. But for the defensive guys, once you do it once, you create a frenzy. Everybody wants to get involved, and they got it done a second time.
Now Hausch can attack on the extra point. And it's good to make it 14-0. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there, grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. Yeah, some might have returned that one. He won't. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start the drive from the 25. And the Panthers coming out now. And job one here, Charles, just keep possession of the football. 2 drives, 2 turnovers to this point.
You're exactly right, Doctor. Hippocratic oath. First, do no harm. And right now, they're harming themselves on offense.
I like that. No one is mistaking me for a doctor, though. But thank you, Dr. Davis. They'll start the drive with a run by Stewart. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going, and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. I also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
That one good for 16, and the drive will continue. Fresh set of downs here. A shotgun snap for Newton. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. Greg Olsen was the intended target, and that'll bring up second down.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. They'll run it now out of the gun. And not even back to the line of scrimmage this time as they're on him quickly once more. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And they'll be facing a 3rd and 12.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. From the gun, here's Newton. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. But this will fortunately wind up out of bounds.
I don't know about you, but I could hear and feel the sigh of relief all the way up here in our booth.
That was palpable. The sideline, the friend there.
No doubt about it. Ball goes over the sideline, able to retain possession.
Cam fighting. He lost the football. It's out. Now this is picked up by the Bills. 30. Past the 20. And this is going to be brought back for a Bills touchdown. They give some kudos to the defensive coordinator, I think, here. They bring the blitz, they dial it up, and it turns into 6 points for them.
It's so nice to hear you actually give kudos to the defense. It is so nice you're such an offensive guy like that. I love it. He dialed things up, and boy, a big play resulted for his guys.
Well, you like the credit to the defense there, right, my friend?
Yeah, do I ever?
Hauschka now for the extra point. And it is now 21-0. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way. The fumble return for a touchdown. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And a couple yards deep, he'll go to a knee. He won't return it. And they'll take it out to the 25. Here's the Bills defense now as they head out to defend here. And for their efforts so far, they deserve a little defensive montage here.
I like that. I like how you recognize what they're doing out there and how much fun they're having, because that's indeed what's going on. Beating them to the punch just about every snap now, swarming, swooping, taking the ball away. This is a lot of fun to watch.
Opportunistic, right?
Very much so.
Stewart on the counter. And this has been a recurring theme tonight for sure. Nowhere to run. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's all. No gain on the play. It'll be second down. Boy, that's a lot of sirloin steak to be taken down for no gain, partner.
Are you trying to suggest that he is a huge man?
He is
not just a big man, a huge man.
Big boy.
Well, how about the credit then for the defense to be able to chop that big tree and put him on the ground?
I know back when you played, it took 4 of you to take a guy like that down, right?
Well, that's for sure. And you know what else? I didn't want to challenge him at dinner either.
And he takes this one just shy of midfield all the way to the 49. So we played one quarter here on a Monday night. 21-0 our score, and we're back to upstate New York after this. With my good friend Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin with you. It's the Panthers in possession of the football as we begin quarter number 2, and they've got it here with a first down. Out of the gun, Newton. Looking for the tight end, Olsen, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 49. And they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory.
And Brandon, the passing game for both of these teams is going to be affected as the game goes along. It's not looking like the rain's going to let up anytime soon. So that might mean a few more wobbly passes and wide receiver slips. And this one winds up getting intercepted.
The Bills offense coming out, ready to take over. Now a first down carry here from McCoy. He'll get about 4 here, down to the 43-yard line. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on second down. On second down, it's McCoy. Broke through some contact, but unable to reach the 40. 2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a third and about 4 for a first. I once had a defensive player in the NFL tell me, if I beat and dominate the guy across from me, I'm helping my team. Well, winning one-on-one battles is always a part of the game, but when you have good team defense, as we just saw there, one broken tackle, but he didn't get away because the rest of the guys arrived to put him on the ground.
Now Taylor. Open man is Holmes. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. It goes as a gain of 8. It moves the chains.
In today's football, where receivers break tackles, make people miss, get upfield for the extra yardage, when you see a play like that where it's caught and he's dropped on the spot, that's a big-time play by the defense.
Now Taylor on first down. Steps away to his left. And some room to roam now. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's second down.
Now that was not a bad scramble there on first down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable second and short.
Taylor with a give to McCoy. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
first and 10. It's Taylor. Flush to his right. And he's got room. He's to the 10. Touchdown, Buffalo. And maybe the defense got so caught up in him throwing the football, they forgot he can take off, too.
And you often hear about the quarterback being the unaccounted for guy as a runner. Well, even on a passing play, he's unaccounted for as a runner, and he turned it into a nice gain.
A very nice run, and it turns into 6 points. Here's Hauschka for the extra point. It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now. That time, a 6-play drive. And the finishing touch was that nice long run into the end zone. Here's Hauschka now to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And onto the field, here come the Panthers. Typically down to the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive. But they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, normally, you know me. You've been around me for a while now, right?
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm the one preaching patience.
Yeah.
You know, take your time. First half, you still got a chance. I think they're out of patience here. This has to be a drive that gets a touchdown. So if you're the play caller, you're going to that portion of the sheet that says big-time plays, specials, anything you can use to get yourself back into it.
And when you're running the football, one thing you don't want to see is a big boy coming up there and swallow you whole in those D tackles and nose tackles.
No, you're actually counting on your big boys to protect you from them. But on that play, the defensive tackle had the leverage, and he won the battle. No gain, correct?
No gain. And he's able to get this one up to the 45-yard line. And a nice gain of 21 yards. Two minutes remain here in the first half. Back to Buffalo after this. We remind you that coming up at halftime, Larry Ridley will have the highlights and analysis of this first half from our studios in Orlando.
And I have a fairly solid idea about which team will be featured prominently in those highlights.
Might be a little bias. So it looks like somebody may have forgotten the snap count, and a 5-yard penalty ensues.
False start, offense.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5.
Still first down.
So now 1st and 15. From the gun, Newton. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off around the 41.
So that's back-to-back drives where they're throwing an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
The Bills offense now, they get set to head back on the field. It's a quick turnaround for them after the turnover, but the way they moved it on their last drive, they're probably eager to get right back at it.
And you know me and you know my tendencies in this situation. What do I want right now?
Be aggressive.
Be aggressive. Take your shot right here.
And they'll start this drive with very good field position. Now Taylor going to hand this one off to McCoy. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Charles Johnson's stock in trade is coming off the edge and getting to the quarterback. But he knows how to make some of those subtle moves inside to help in the run game, and he did it right there.
He's an athlete back in high school, played football, basketball, track, so he's a mobile guy.
Mobile guy, made a nice play against the run.
Again, it's McCoy. 2 yards gets them back to where they started, but now 3rd and 10.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much.
And the Panthers bring in their nickel set as they try to defend here on 3rd down.
5 defensive backs. To throw is Taylor. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
That's a 1st down if he holds on, but you saw the contact, able to jar it free from him and force a 4th down.
Great play defensively there, as you said, just to knock it free, because if he had caught that, past the sticks, 1st down. Think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good, and this score will stay right where it is. And that's the risk of the long field goal miss here at this stage of the 2nd quarter. You give up great field position.
And that gives them one more opportunity to make something happen and something big, and we've seen crazy stuff happen at the end of halves.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And this is Shepard on the catch. Now before this 2nd down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout, as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this 1st half. Here's Newton now on 2nd down. Funches with a catch over the middle. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense, as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the 1st half of play. And we're back. The offense had a chance to talk things over. We'll see what they come up with here on this next play. On 1st down, Newton. And to the tight end, Olsen, right side. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
We've been together a little while now, partner. How often do we actually describe tight ends as nifty? Because that's what I think of when I see Greg Olsen on the field. His ability to run routes, create space and separation, and make those catches downfield.
And sure consistent. The numbers the last couple years almost identical, and both over 1,000-yard seasons. Red zone opportunity. From the red zone now, Newton. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. They were looking to get it to Kelvin Benjamin there. And it's 2nd down.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
So the incomplete pass brings up 2nd down. Throwing again. Newton. That is caught at the 7. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. Newton to Olsen there for a Carolina 1st down. To the air again, Newton. And he will score. Touchdown, Panthers. Cam Newton. And In the final seconds of the first half. And the Panthers, they're able to draw a bit closer.
I'm not sure that they have illusions right now of, okay, we're going to score 8 times in a row and we're going to be terrific. But to get one, that was huge for them. That has to feel much better right now.
And you do have, we're still in the first half. You do have the entire second half. There's something about that goose egg that just looked bad on that board, but now they've broken it.
Yeah, broken through. Can they maintain the pace? We'll see as we go along.
And with time running down, they go down to a knee. So we've reached halftime here in Orchard Park with the Bills taking the lead into the break. As we send you down to our EA Sports Studios in Orlando, where we find our man Larry Ridley with our halftime report.
Thanks, Brandon. Thanks, Charles. And welcome to our EA Halftime Report. I'm Larry Ridley. The Bills are happy to be sitting in the locker room with a lead. The Panthers won't panic either. They know they just need to take it one play at a time. All right, let's get it going. Let's roll those first half highlights. Now midway through the first, on the run, the ball comes loose. Bills recover the ball and return it for a touchdown. As they move out in front, 14-0. Now early in the second, Newton's under fire and will throw the pick. Alexander's happy to come away with the pick and end the drive. Offense out now following the interception. Taylor is going to get loose thanks to great blocking, and he'll go in for a score. That pushes the lead to 28. Panthers on offense midway through the second. Stewart's got the reception, and he'll end up at their own 45-yard line before being tackled. Panthers now late in the second. Newton's going to take off here, and this 5-play drive goes for a touchdown as they get on the board to cut it to 21-7.
All right, Larry, indeed a one-sided affair to this point as we get set for half two. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. Here's Walter Powell on the return. A little 360. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. Out come the Bills now as he'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They had a big first half. Now they have a chance to add to that lead here in the opening possession of the second half.
And everyone always asks about halftime adjustments, kind of the key phrase. What did you do at halftime? Well, the way they ran offense in the first half, I think they were very calm, congratulatory, but also what they were saying is, don't expect them to be the same on defense. They'll be the ones making the adjustments.
Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. Julius Peppers in there to bury him for a loss of 11.
Look, Carolina had a number of issues last year, and that's why they slumped to 6-10 after a Super Bowl appearance. But pass rush wasn't a problem for them. They still got to the quarterback.
47 total sacks. That was just one behind Arizona, who led the lead.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue for them, young corners that gave up a lot of big plays.
He turned that into a nice gain. Gets him 8 yards closer for third down.
Partner was a definite passing down, but he was able to leak out and pick up some good yardage, even though the coverage was excellent. Maybe it's not exactly how they drew it up, but he still got a big chunk of yardage on second down.
And an alley to run. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. The scramble good for a nice gain of 10 yards, but still fourth down.
Well, he was looking at a dime formation, 6 defensive backs on the field, so he's looking for anyone to throw the football to, but he didn't have anyone open, so he took off and ran for it, but he came up just short, and that brings up fourth down.
Here we go on fourth down with Taylor being chased out left. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. A good decision in the end to pull it and run, gets him 9 yards and a first.
Well, he's proven real effective running the football. No one open, don't force it. Just get what you can, and that's what he's done very well in this game.
They'll try the right side with McCoy. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. 12 yards that time, and a Bills first down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. And a new set of downs here after picking up the first on the ground. From midfield now, here's Taylor. Buying time to his left. And he's brought down. 12 yards on back-to-back plays there, and that's another first down.
Man, defensively, that hurts. They got him out of his rhythm. They had him hemmed in, but somehow he was able to tuck it away and get away for a gain.
First down and 10 now for the offensive group.
Here we go. Brand 38.
A give to McCoy. Flashed the stick skills, but didn't get a ton from it. Stopped short of the 35. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized.
Let's go.
They'll go again to McCoy. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
Count me as a little bit surprised by what we just saw there, because this has been a pretty long drive, and normally you think that wears down a defense. In this case, looked like the offensive line let them down a little bit.
Yeah, allowed the penetration and the ability to stuff them for a loss. The Bills on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 9.
Come on, let's go. 1-9.
Now Taylor. This is complete to Watkins on the slant. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping them from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. No move to get the offense off the field here. They've converted once on this drive. On 4th, they'll go again and try it once more. They'll sneak it with Taylor. And he'll be touched out here, but not before he does pick up the first. Only a yard there on the keeper, but that's all he needed. First down.
Now, that was a little bit longer distance than you would expect to see for a quarterback sneak. Normally, it's 4th and 1, 4th and inches. But when you get interior linemen trying to get upfield for a pass play, sometimes you can blow past them on the sneak, and it worked well for them.
So a moment to catch our collective breath after the 4th down conversion. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now in Buffalo. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. And this seemingly endless drive continues.
Double tight, guys, double tight. Let's go. What? None. What? None.
This time Taylor will throw. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Buffalo touchdown. Sammy Watkins, 28 yards. And the Bills will extend their lead. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
Now Hausch could attack on the extra point. And oh, it's no good on the PAT. So they can't add on here. And our score is going to stay right where it is. Here's Hauschka now to kick it away. And a short kick, taking it about the 16. And they'll be set up pretty nicely here as they have it up to the 35-yard line. The Panthers offense here, they get ready to head back on the field. And they're going to need another score. Got one last time, but still down here.
When you're playing catch-up, every possession becomes crucial, doesn't it? It's vital. Get back out on the field, punch it in the end zone again. They know it's not easy, but what they do have going for them, they did score the last time. They think they've got a good formula working.
And what about the defense?
Well, now you're just saying to yourself, okay, we gave up a score last time. What adjustments do we need to make to slow them down now and get the ball back for our own offense? Is it more pressure? Is it more zone? What do they have to do? They're trying to figure that out themselves.
We'll see if they can figure that out right here.
If he's their best threat on offense, use your number one cover guy on defense. It doesn't matter about size.
They have had him locked up. That just his first catch of the game. Big reason why they're down.
Watch tight. Tight here right. Tight here right. Hey, boys, we got four down.
To throw on second down is Newton. And they take him down. The Bills get to him. Jerry Hughes in there to bring him down for a loss of 7. And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
Man, that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, you're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You talk about guys, if they weren't playing football, they'd be starring in the NBA at power forward. It's a really difficult task.
So now Cam leads the Panthers up following the sack. Carolina facing 3rd and long. Now it's Newton. And the tight end Dixon left side. And he'll be taking territory. And they're able to convert on 3rd with a solid gain of 23.
But when you hit him on the move like that, and he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam, oh, boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down.
Watch tight end. What is it? Hey, we got four down.
Newton on 1st down. Caught left side by Funchess. The 20. Nice move at the 5. A big play there for the Panthers. 43 yards.
As we continue to advance in the NFL, as people continue to scout players, they really don't care as much about body types as they care about those guys who can make people miss, run through tackles, and gain all that additional run after catch. Anybody who has that ability, they want them on their team.
Two big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Trying to punch it in, Stewart. And he is in. Touchdown, Carolina. Jonathan Stewart taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Panthers are able to cut into this lead. Gano now to add the extra point. And certainly some credit there for that touchdown goes to the offensive line.
They never get the credit they deserve in the stat sheet, but they are the reason that they got the points. Excellent job up front, clearing the way for the score.
The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it's capped off by a Jonathan Stewart run. So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. And the Bills are going to recover. Now they're down big here in the 4th. They had to try the onside kick. Can't fault them for the effort at least.
No, you can't at all. And if nothing else, now you've put something that you're trying to practice, right, that you've worked on into a game situation, and now you can go back and dissect it. So if you need it again sometime, maybe you'll find a better way to do it. But, yeah, this game's pretty much done for them.
Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here. This give is to McCoy. And he'll be brought down at about the 42. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning.
Let's go!
10th carry now for McCoy. And very little there. He might have gotten a yard. Yeah, I think he got a yard to the 41. And in this situation with the lead 4th quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. So it's Bills football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. The Bills on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 7. They'll run with a backup. This is Williams. He's got the 1st down here inside the 30. And all the way home for a Bills touchdown. Jonathan Williams, 41 yards. And the Bills will add on to their lead. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. And that stretches the lead to 27. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And the last play, a really nice run that culminated in the touchdown. Here's Hauschka now to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. Yeah, some might have returned that one. He won't. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start the drive from the 25. Carolina getting set to take the field. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. Throwing is Newton. Benjamin with it over the middle. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. The completion good for 3, and it's second down. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Second down now after the pass completion. Operating from the gun, Newton. It's caught by Funchess. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there if he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback that has to slide and find open space to throw.
Now the offense lining up 1st and 10. From the gun, Newton. And caught left side, Olsen. And he's brought down. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. Now they got to get to the line quickly. On 1st and 10, Newton. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Shaq Lawson. He's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
On second down, here's Newton. It's complete right side to Benjamin. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. Kelvin Benjamin, 45 yards. And the Panthers, they're able to draw a bit closer.
And yeah, that touchdown counts for their team, but I think it counts more for the fantasy guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just something maybe positive to look at on film, but this one's over, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one.
Gano out to kick this one away. And this will get out of bounds. No worries there, though. That still goes as a touchback. Defense still with 3 timeouts. We'll see if they want to use them here as the kneel down comes. Well, Charles, the forecast called for rain throughout the entire game, and we got rain throughout the entire game. But these two teams, they had fun getting dirty out there. They love the slop.
Did you trust the forecast ahead of time? Are you one of those guys that's skeptical about it, or did you trust it?
But when I saw just a big blob of green on the radar, I said, okay, let's trust.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad you took my advice. Get your notes laminated, because, you know, open air booth, that rain can affect us as well, although not as much as the guys on the field. But let's face it, it's kind of fun to watch these types of games, isn't it?
It is. By the way, how impressive is it that you travel with a laminator? I didn't even know there was a portable laminator.
The things that you learn.
Golly, wise beyond his years. So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Bills are victorious as we say so long from Buffalo.